Hello, my friends, and welcome again to Cathy Chat. I absolutely love sharing information, knowledge, and certainly new friendships with each and every person I get to meet. And I have known this lady for several years now. And the cool part is her business literally changes lives. I am thrilled to have you meet today for the first time ever, maybe. Maybe this is an old friend for you. I'd love for you to get to meet Eileen Dawson. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. Cathy Chat is one of my favorite ways to promote other people and certainly their companies. When we were networking, I instantly heard your message and I was like, the world needs to hear this dynamic message. Tell us a little bit about you and certainly how you got started in your current company.
So my background is actually human resources, and I used to work in different companies and I did hiring for them and that type of thing. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I decided I wanted to teach, but I didn't necessarily want to go back to school for more education. We've got 3 kids I've got to get through college. Actually, we've got one through, but we've got 2 more that we got to get through. And so I wanted to do something that was teaching. And it was my son that actually said to me, "Mom, you're such a money nerd. You should teach about money. You should teach about personal finance." And I thought, that's not a bad idea. And so I started looking into things and I came across the Ramsey program. And I remember seeing him on TV maybe 15 years ago. And he talked all about money and getting out of debts and being able to do personal finance so that you do much better financially. And so I started looking into it. So then I certified with him and learned all about all kinds of debts and bankruptcy and, how to pay off debts and, all the different tricks that, credit card companies have and that type of thing that keep us in debt.
I am writing down, I love your son automatically. Mom, you're such a hashtag money nerd. I love that. I'm writing this down because I'm going to put that on the detailed chat for this YouTube video. I am so excited because I love all things money, all things finance, all things numbers. And most people on the planet, at least the ones I have met, are instantly going, ew, how can you stand that kind of stuff? I thrive on it. And it sounds like you do too.
Absolutely.
When you meet someone networking, how do you cross the bridge the gap from money nerd to Ramsey coach to certification to let me help you pay off that debt? How does that transition work?
That's a good question. It's funny. It's not something that necessarily you're sitting around the Christmas table and someone says, "Oh, you deal with money. I bought a vehicle, for $40,000. I can't afford it. It's making me choke every month on the payments." So a lot of times it's softer than that. We're talking, I'm learning about what they do. They're learning about what I do. They see my name tag and it says money coach. And they're like, what's that? And so then that starts a chat oftentimes about what we each do. And so that's kind of how it starts. And a lot of times I'll hear people say, "Oh, my son's graduating from college and he doesn't understand money at all. Maybe I could, buy some coaching from you and give it to him as a graduation gift." So it might be that, or geez, my husband and I really, and a lot of times it's kind of on the low key when we're talking because they don't want the rest of the table to hear it. Or, we're kind of over in a corner or something when people start to even talk a little bit about their money, because it's a subject that's very close to people's chest. And oftentimes they feel shame and guilt when they're not managing it to the capacity that they know that they want to be doing. So
isn't that an interesting piece? The shame and the guilt. I love that you bring that up. People are shamed because I overeat, I under this, I over this, all of these things. And it's a shame deal. And many times for me, even in my business, I'm thinking in terms of it's education. If you don't know any better, how can you possibly do any better? And some of this nutrition, health, wellness piece has not been taught in school. And the same thing with money. I think we are allowing young people to graduate. They can't balance a checkbook. Of course, nowadays they say, what's a checkbook? But the rest of the story is credit card debt, debit cards, push a button and things are delivered sometimes by drone now, right to your front door in 12 minutes. And I'm waiting for that, by the way, because I think that would be a fun video to do. And I'm actually going to do it as soon as it's available in my area, coming soon, as they say. But I literally mean that from a standpoint of education. If you haven't learned it, how can you have shame and guilt?
That's right. And a lot of parents don't know. How are they going to teach their kids if they don't understand how money? My parents taught me what not to do. They lost a they've lost a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath house to a 2-bedroom small mobile home because they had so many credit cards that had rolled into their mortgage that when they both retired, they couldn't afford the mortgage.
I believe that. I believe that. Is that the impetus that wanted you to actually be able to help other people?
I think so, because one of my brothers is a financial planner, and so he deals with a lot of the retirement piece of people's money. And I wanted to be an educator, because I knew people were in debt. I know I was when I was in college. I thought it was so special that they gave me a credit card, and then they even gave me a free umbrella. I thought I was the cat's pajamas, right? And that's
Oh
not
my
at
gosh.
all. I became a prisoner. Next thing you know, I've got hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars on a credit card. And I don't know how to get out of it because I don't make it's going to take me months and months of, I didn't even know how to get out of it at that time.
And so without, like, you roll out the shame and the guilt piece and get that gone and then start the education piece, are you able to work anywhere in North America, just the US? What does that look like? Can
I
you work?
am. The majority of my clients are in the US.
Okay.
I'm certainly not opposed to Europe because we've got, so much, the money exchange is so much easier than it was, 30 or 40 years ago. Or
Okay.
Canada. I've talked to some folks in Canada. I haven't, they haven't become clients yet. And part of that is because the actual budgeting app I use doesn't allow a lot of the banks and everything in some other countries, probably because of security reasons, to be able to dump in
Okay.
budgeting app. But I
Yeah.
certainly can, even with the simple version of the budgeting app, I could still teach that to somebody that's in, up north or Mexico or other parts, of the world too.
It's an interesting word when people hear budget or diet or schedule or agenda, they think of those as restrictive.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, they are empowering because if you've got a food diary, you instantly go, I can have this, 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 and you work that out as a yay instead of a, oh my gosh.
Yes.
And the same thing with money. I've got this much to allocate, shall we say,
Mm-hmm.
and I have more month at the end of my money, but you can work it to have more money by the end of your month with just a few little tweaks. And I think that is genius marketing from a standpoint of your certification. What does your education piece look like? You're of course able to do this by Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're able to teach large groups, private people. How do you do that?
Yes, I have both. I have, where it's one-on-one with an individual or a couple, but then I also do group presentations for companies, for colleges. I'd love to get into the education systems and be able to educate people. I've got a couple colleges that I work with, and one's about student loans and one's about avoiding student loans and what can you do? What are other strategies you can do so that you don't have to take out these huge student loans?
Oh my gosh.
So, that's definitely one of the things. And I think also, just those strategies that, you were saying about the embarrassment, the shame and the guilt. One of the things we do immediately when we start even a consult, let alone the coaching, today is the very beginning, and a budget actually gives you freedom opposed to takes it away. I'm an Amazon junkie. I have to be really careful of Amazon because I can pop 10 o'clock at night, woo woo, and I'm hitting all those buttons. And so I have to be really careful. And I'm not the only one because it's so easy to just click it from your debit card. It's so easy to click it from your PayPal account. And, next thing you know, you've got buyer's remorse when you get it in the mail. I ended up getting $100 worth of Russell Stover's chocolates right after Valentine's Day because they were on sale. What was I thinking? Now I have to wear $100 worth of, Russell Stover's candy. And I had buyer's regret because that $100 could have gone towards something else.
Absolutely. Please don't make us hungry for chocolate right now.
Yeah.
But look at the cool marketing though. Genius,
Yeah.
genius, genius. And
Yeah.
there's folks out there that go, ding, ding, ding. I want
the free shipping, and that's what I did. I don't want to buy $50. I want to, but the shipping's going to cost $30. You might as well, go until it's free shipping. And it's tricks, all the tricks that these marketing people put out there. They get paid a lot of money to trick us.
And so if you have, let's for the sake of our listeners on Cathy Chat today, let's take us through the steps. Like you meet someone at a networking event, you schedule a one-on-one. I doubt that's when you do your presentation piece, but once you find out that they have a need, take us through that. What does that look like? It doesn't sound, your personality does not feel intimidating at all.
No,
And
I really try to put,
I try to put
people at ease.
On Cathy Chat because your magnet and your calming sense seems like it's not an intimidation factor. I can't wait to have people meet you.
Well, it's funny because usually I have a background of a beach. And the reason I do that is I want to put people at ease. I want them to see something that just kind of, and the beach always seems to put all of us at ease, a nice stream or a nice, beach or, these kinds of things tend to cause a lot more calm. And within seconds that somebody's talking to me, they know, hey, listen, I'm going to love on you if we coach together, and I'm going to help you, and I'm going to help you, and I'm going to walk alongside you. I'm not going to judge you because I don't judge people.
No, you really don't at all. And I have, like I say, I've known you for several years now, and it's so cool to see people resonate with you even on a Zoom screen. And I'm so excited about that piece because I do feel that money is one of those taboo subjects. And don't, just like you mentioned at the Christmas dinner table, don't talk about money.
Yeah.
Well, I feel if it wasn't such a taboo word, we wouldn't be in so much debt in our world at this time.
So many people, like 60% of people in the United States, if not 70 or 80%, are in debt. Whether it's the credit cards. The credit cards are really tough because they have such high interest rates now. But then the vehicle loans, people don't know what they can buy. So they talk to the people at the dealership. And of course, they're going to sell them something more than, what's comfortable or affordable, so you can't trust that. You got to go to a source that's going to actually be in your corner about, how that should work. So, but yeah, so typically what happens is once I have a consultation, then we start the coaching. And typically we really kind of get into the goals that people have. Everybody's got different goals. So that's one of the first things that we cover. And then from there, we go into the coaching, we get into the budget, we figure out all the money. Where are we starting from? Where are you at financially? And then we put a plan together. And then we go from there with coaching. Some people, it's just a handful of coaching sessions. Others I have for years.
I was just going to ask you that if this is a ongoing procedure or you train us once and we go by that agenda. So it really does depend on the person and the family.
It does. It depends on what they need and what they want. Some people need more, assistance. They need more they might just start off with a couple times a month, and 3 months later, they're just once a month, once every 6 weeks. I've got clients that I don't see for 3 months. And then it's a check-in and some, they'll send me a text and I'll answer that text if it's a simple, answer, or, they'll say, what do you think about this? I was thinking about buying this, but I want this too. And, so they'll throw out these kinds of questions on emails, and I'm welcome to, to answer those. So it really kind of depends on the clients. A lot of times if someone's really struggling with debt, they need a few months to change those habits, to change, get into the right groove of how to get out of these debts.
Now, I appreciate so much you being willing to be on Cathy Chat, because as I mentioned earlier, this is an education, edification platform. And I love for my out there friends to meet the friends that I have met networking. What is the largest or one of the misconceptions when it comes to all things money, finance, budget? What is a misconception that you hear a lot?
I'd say probably one of the biggest misconceptions I hear is that when you look down your street and you see somebody that's got an expensive vehicle and they've got a big house, that they must have a lot of money. Oftentimes, the people that are very wealthy don't. They just wear simple jeans. They have a simple house. They might be driving a Toyota. They're not necessarily driving the sports cars. You would have no idea that those people have money.
Wow. Now that is a huge misconception, because of course you see all this grandiose and you're going, wish I had, wish I had, wish I had, wish I had. And so that is usually what starts the debt rolling, I would imagine.
Well, have you ever noticed in expensive expensive towns, there's a lot of discount big lots and job lots and Dollar Trees? It's because people that have money want to keep it.
Wow. That is a great message. I love, again, the fact that you said yes today. Is there anything that you would like our listeners to know publicly before they schedule that chat with you?
I think one of the biggest things that I would advise, whether somebody goes into a chat with me or not, is that you have to live on less than you make. That's one of the secrets to financial success. And to understand that is a big deal.
Live on less than you make. That seems like a logical message, but apparently the world is not living like that
It's
right now.
not as easy to do as it sounds.
Are you able to help? You mentioned that you do have some kiddos in college yourself. Are you able to help with student loan debt also as part of this scenario?
Yeah, a lot of times I don't necessarily help with the student loans, but a lot of times I'll give a lot of tips and on how to avoid it. My oldest is a nurse, and she between us and her, she got through school without any student loans. So now
Oh
she's
my
just,
goodness.
making her salary as a working adult. My son went to community college for a couple of years, and now he's up at university. And so, that's how we're affording it with him, and he's working too. And then the youngest is actually going into the Air Force, and then it's going to go to college in 4 years because she wants to be a pilot. So it is expensive to go to pilot school, but this was a strategy she had that was, a good one. And she'll also learn about aviation while she's in the service. So
Look what you just said. That magic word, strategy.
yes.
And my goodness, and I don't know that a lot of people think about strategy. They think diet and the restriction stuff, but they don't think of the strategy. I love what you teach.
Thank you, Kathy. I
How
appreciate
did
it.
you decide to be certified with Dave Ramsey? There are so many finance topics out there. How did you decide to do the Dave Ramsey
I
certification?
think because he has a roadmap and he's helped, thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people. And, it's easy, it's getting out of debt, then it's saving money, and so it's these simple principles, and there's 7 steps to how to get out of debts and how to stay out. So if that plan is followed, it's such a successful system to help people. It helped us. My husband and I are products of it.
Oh, no, that's a good point. All right. So you learned from it and decided now you can take that platform and help other people.
That's correct.
I love that. I love that. Well, again, I want to thank you for being on Cathy Chat today. Friends, if you have not met Eileen Dawson yet, you can actually see on the screen here the website address, and I want to read it exactly so you'll be able to connect with her because her contact information is in there. www.dawsonservices@godaddysite.com. Awesome information. You can see this right here on the screen if you're watching the replay. And please connect with Eileen because your life, your family will thank you, and certainly your legacy. I think it's a magnificent message, my friend. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Kathy. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Bye for now, my friends. We'll see you next time on Cathy Chat. Bye-bye.